Okay, can I call the meeting to order and welcome you all here today for the 11th meeting of the Transport Data Initiative. It's a pleasure to welcome you here today. I'm Walter Tuttlebee, I'm your host today for today's sessions. And where are we? Let's press a button. So, some event admin to start with. No fire drills are expected. If the fire alarms go off, question mark. They didn't tell me what to say at this point, but I presume we go out the door. It looks like they're all out, but I'm sure if a fire alarm does go off, we'll know what to do. Refreshments are shown times there. I don't know whether we'll be. I think we're making up the extra time at lunchtime, so I imagine that early morning break may be nearer 11:30 than 11:15. And lunch will be around 1:15. So, some background for those of you perhaps who has not been to a previous Transport Data Initiative meeting. Raise your hands. That's a surprisingly large number. How many of you who have not been before have watched it on the live stream? Oh, not many. That is surprising. That is surprising. So you're not here because you have seen it on the live stream. That is interesting. Okay, we are moving into the 4th year of operation, and we have 3 more events already scheduled for confirmation for next year. And it's my duty and joy to thank the people who support the Transport Data Initiative and make it happen. And that certainly includes in terms of Financially Innovate UK, and indeed our sponsors, who you've seen on your badges and you'll see on slides and things like that. That is really very much valued. And indeed the support of many of our delegates. Indeed, I'm sure many of you who are here as delegates today have other times also spoken at this event. So, it's the interaction that makes the Transport Data Initiative valuable. It's the connections that are made, the information that is shared. It's all those kind of things that you do get in the coffee breaks that you don't get with the live stream. So, 4 years in, delegates who've come along to Transport Data Initiative work for local authorities that represent something like 90% of the entire UK population. So that is quite an amazing reach. I was quite surprised when I saw that figure. The attending authorities include that whole variety there that you see: transport authorities, combined authorities, unitary authorities, local councils, private sector companies, universities, catapults, and more. Today's focus, I imagine you've probably looked at the agenda already, or you probably wouldn't be here. But these are the speakers that we have today that you'll be hearing from. And as I kind of hinted at earlier on, one of the big strengths of the TDI is the opportunities for interaction. So do take the opportunity to interact during the coffee breaks, during the lunch times, to talk, to find people who've got similar interests, needs that you've got, or have addressed some of those problems and you can learn from. We're also going to be interacting directly with some of the speakers to address some of these things, as we'll see in the first presentation today. So the structure, you've got the agenda in front of you this morning. We'll be looking at the DFT's data strategy, which is emerging and taking shape and so on. I think some of you will remember the presentation. I think it was the Sheffield event that Matt spoke at and introduced some of that. We had quite a full day on how that was beginning to shape up, and today we've got an opportunity to move forward a bit further on that. We'll be covering some data standards work that DFT is looking at, also the way forward for TROs, the traffic regulation orders, and also a look at the last mile delivery. That's That's kind of this morning's set of presentations and discussions. This afternoon, we have a workshop on that last mile issue. Okay, where next after today? Just so you know, in case you miss my rounding up at the end of the day. The next event will be hosted in Liverpool, at the Royal Liver Building on the waterfront there. And the date for that, if you want to make a note in your diaries, is the 26th of February next year. So, enjoy the day. If any of you, particularly in the area of that last mile, the freight aspect, have some activities and interests there that you feel could be relevant to the next event, do please get in touch with David or Tom. Where are they? There's David. Tom's over there. Okay. Or likewise, if you feel there are other areas that you think you'd like to see covered at one of these meetings, if you'd like to be willing to be a speaker and introduce some new ideas and thinking, and share some of your learnings that you've applied perhaps in your own local authority or context.